Because the update Aquatic has been one of the best updates for a while, it's no surprise that the announcement of the Drowned came as a disappointment. It was a zombie variant advertised as an entirely new mob. In my last video, which you can watch here, I did my best to explain why Mojang didn't add the shark, but new evidence has come to light of their thinking behind the decision. According to Helen Angel, a community manager for Minecraft, the animal cruelty argument only applies to riding dolphins, saddles or no saddles, leashes, taming, or otherwise controlling. As for adding sharks, Helen gives her thoughts in this video excerpt.
We can't add the shark. There's two reasons why we can't add the shark. Number one, because a lot of shark are endangered, and part of the reason they're endangered is because they're misunderstood. Number two is that we don't want to encourage people to A, go up to sharks, or B, ride, or try, not necessarily ride sharks, but try to get close to sharks, or C, kill sharks in real life. So, as we all remember what happened with cookies and parrots.
However, this isn't the official reason. What Helen said there was just her musing about it, and it was highly misinterpreted by the community, although it is similar to what I said. There's absolutely no circumstance in where it is both realistic and beneficial to add the shark to Minecraft. It's too wild to ever be a companion or utility mob. It's too damaging to society to add it as a hostile or even neutral. And it's simply not worth the time to make it ambient. The official explanation she gave on Reddit was that they don't fit into the game. Other ideas that the community suggested for Update Aquatic but Mojang rejected include a lot of real-life animals, nautical equipment, and natural events. A lot of comments on my last video, along with discussion on Reddit and Discord, have been floating the idea of replacing the shark with a fantasy mob. Since they don't exist, you can't associate it with animal cruelty, and for some of them you could technically say they're extinct, so they're not endangered. Also, you have a lot more freedom since you don't have to base their behaviour off their real-life counterpart. But isn't this what Mob A would have been? It looks vaguely squid-like, but doesn't directly correspond to a real-world animal. So maybe Mojang were planning for it to play an integral role in the Update Aquatic. The only problem being, of course, that when it was unveiled just before Minecon Earth 2017, it wasn't voted in. You see, Axoladi, Thuke and Doss and I developed a theory a while ago that the outcome of that poll would determine the update that we got. Mob A, the monster of the ocean depths, would result in Update Aquatic. Mob C, the Great Hunger, would result in an underground update. Mob D, the Hovering Inferno, would result in a Nether update. Mob B, the Monster of the Night Skies, is a little trickier. Maybe it's because we know the most about it, or because it doesn't really fit with any part of the game, unlike the other mobs in the poll. The answer is probably something in between. During the Phantom's implementation, it was at one point an end mob, but eventually the devs settled on making it an undead creature. So either Mob B's update was a wild card and choosing it would allow Mojang to choose the update, or Mojang later decided to limit the poll to just the mobs. I mean, we can't miss what we never knew. Regardless, updating the oceans was a good pick, because they were in the most need of attention. But what if Mob A had a greater relationship with the oceans than we were led to believe, and if not choosing it caused Mojang to implement another mob that would try to tie up the loose ends that Mob A left behind? Maybe if Mob A had been implemented, it would drop a Heart of the Sea, which are currently found in treasure chests. It certainly makes sense that such a powerful item would be dropped from, if not a mini-boss, a fairly strong monster, which Mob A would fit perfectly. Drowned may have still been in the game, but because they would play a much smaller role, maybe they could only drop Nautilus shells. Tridents could instead be found in ocean monuments or crafted from prismarine, because it's kinda weird to find an amazing new weapon in the hands of an underwater zombie. So maybe we shouldn't have voted for the Phantom. Although Minecon Earth 2017 was a long time ago, before Minecraft Abnormals was created, and I simply voted for Mob B because it looked cool and added a new mechanic, Insomnia. But it seems now that Insomnia is more of a hindrance than anything. For one thing, it was supposedly made to encourage people to sleep more often, but that hurts exploration because people would have to set their spawn wherever they slept. People have been talking about adding sleeping bags again, which are like beds but don't set spawn. Although it's a frequently posted suggestion, it's more relevant than ever now, and could encourage players to sleep without discouraging exploration, while still letting you go out and starve yourself of sleep if you're brave enough to go hunting phantoms. Of course, it's too late to reverse our decision. Supposedly, the other mob options will never see the light of day again, but it's not too late to suggest other hostile aquatic mobs. We need a mob that is unique, intimidating, and that embodies the power of the newly updated oceans. One that particularly stands out to me is the exodar, created by Aquatic. With the body of a turtle, the tail of a shark, and the skin of a crocodile, the exodar is the ocean predator Minecraft needs. Spawning in frozen ocean biomes, the exodar hunts during the day, where it can see your shadow as you traverse the frozen expanse. They will come to the surface and break the ice in their path as they chase you. Sometimes they will even breach through the ice completely, leaping into the air, body slamming you, and smashing the ice as they fall back into the water. This monster doesn't perfectly represent any real-life animal. It only exists in the world of Minecraft, just like creepers or shulkers. As well as avoiding potential backlash, Mojang can give a fantasy character any personality they want. The exodar isn't a shark, it is the idea of a shark. Furthermore, its loot is well worth the horrifying game of spleef you play in order to take it down. It drops 1 to 2 pieces of axo leather, which can be crafted with any armor to give it the same stats as diamond, or crafted into books to ensure maximum level enchantments. It's unique, it's terrifying, it's fun, it's useful, and most importantly, it doesn't face any controversies or limitations that a shark would. In conclusion, adding the shark has less to do with animal cruelty and more to do with its endangered status, as well as it not fitting Mojang's vision for the game. But because the drowned is such a cobbled together mob, it's possible that mob A, if implemented, would very closely tie in with the update Aquatic. Maybe to fix this, we could implement a truly awe-inspiring ocean predator, such as the exodar. It would certainly more than make up for the drowned with its unique gameplay and terrifying visuals. However, I will say that I'm extremely satisfied with the update Aquatic, and excited to see how the next few updates play out. Did you know we have a subreddit for submitting suggestions? It's called r/Minecraft Abnormals, and the theme for this week is ocean content. So, if you have an idea for a unique ocean monster, or indeed anything to do with the ocean, don't hesitate to post. If your idea isn't fully fleshed out, feel free to join our Discord server, where we can help you brainstorm it. Thank you for watching this abnormal video essay. We have a couple more coming up that will be in a similar vein to these, so if you enjoyed this one, make sure to like, subscribe and hit the bell. If you want to join our community, links are in the description. Let's show Mojang that an ocean monster is what we need.